Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about why this rally is in a dangerous position. You see, I expected Bitcoin is going to rally back up to $130,000, but I have just found some very striking bearish RSI divergence, and if Bitcoin is not able to set a high above the downtrend that I'm going to show you today, it could spell a relatively large correction from these highs before we manage to rally up to our price targets of 130, 140, 150, etc. I firmly believe that a major rally is coming, but Bitcoin has to be able to break this resistance and has to get through a couple of the challenges that we're going to be highlighting in today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Bitcoin over the last week and a half has seen a meteoric rally from the local lows of 109,000. It's only been 12 days since that occurred. Bitcoin added $16,000 in less than a week and a half, one of the fastest, largest rallies in the history of Bitcoin. In less than 2 weeks, the entire 2016-17 bull market worth of price appreciation has occurred. And I think it's very easy for us, if we're not careful, to lose perspective on how impressive that is. The Bitcoin RSI rallied from 35 all the way up to 73 in what basically amounts to an instant. We had an enormous trend reversal, and we now have our higher highs and we have our higher lows, indicative of a healthy rally. So overall, I'm still very confident that we're going to be able to see a rally back up towards, not back up towards, but breaking out and pushing us towards our local price target of $130,000 by October the 15th. That is still approximately 8 days away. However, there are two concerning facts here that I need to bring to your attention, and for the experienced of you in the audience, you might be able to see it as I kind of position the chart right here. There is an uptrending level of resistance that is currently governing the Bitcoin price action, and there is a downtrending level of resistance governing the Bitcoin RSI on the daily chart. Now, this is traditionally a little bit too long to be considered one major RSI divergence. However, is this? Nope. That's well enough to be considered one single RSI divergence. Is this short enough to be considered one single RSI divergence? Yes, it is. And furthermore, is this short enough to be considered one singular RSI divergence? Yes, it is. All three of them put together are just stronger because they're longer. It's not anything to do with this is invalidated because it's so large. In fact, if anything, it actually just creates our point, and it shows us why we have not managed to have a major breakout just yet. It's because Bitcoin is currently sitting beneath an enormous level of resistance, and we have an enormous, literally year-long RSI divergence being built on the daily chart. But it actually gets a lot more interesting than that, because if you back extrapolate this uptrend, you will see that in general, it actually is the same uptrend that we've been witnessing this entire bull market. Bitcoin is in one massive ascending wedge right here, stuck under this uptrending level of resistance and this uptrending level of support. This is very interesting because it means that the Bitcoin volatility has fallen off a cliff. A $17,000 movement looks massive, but when you start considering percentage appreciation and percentage movements, this is very, very minimal, the kind of movement that we've had recently. And it gives us a very stark picture that a very major movement is about to occur. Now the question is, what kind of movement? Well, if I direct your attention to the gold chart, it's interesting that what you will find is a pattern that is strikingly similar. Gold was under an uptrending level of resistance right here, and it was above an uptrending level of support right here. We had major constriction off of previous bull market highs. In this case, they were bull market highs that were set in 2011 when gold originally hit $2,000 an ounce, or just shy of $2,000 an ounce. And then they were set by multiple highs that validated the uptrending level of resistance right here. And once gold broke through the uptrending level of resistance, much to everyone's surprise, because this is actually an ascending wedge, and historically, statistically, you typically break bearish out of them, gold would end up doubling in price in less than 2 years. All right, let's back up for a second. History lesson. Virtually every single time in history that gold doubles against a native currency, that signals a crisis. It signals a currency crisis. It is almost always not indicative of gold gaining double of its value. It's normally indicative of a massive amount of people flooding into gold because they do not trust their currency. Now, Jeb, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about Bitcoin. Hold tight. We're about to pull these two together, and you're going to realize we're either about to see a gigantic bear market or Bitcoin's about to go to like $250,000. There's really not much in between. So let's compare the two charts, right? Let's compare the two charts here. We have our ascending resistance, ascending support, and then over on Bitcoin, we have our ascending resistance and our ascending support. If you're a student of technical analysis, as I am, I've been doing technical analysis on the Bitcoin chart for almost a decade. I started doing TA on Bitcoin back, this is the full Bitfinex chart. I started doing TA here. I've done daily content on Bitcoin through all of this for almost a decade, almost a century. I'm not that old. Oh, come on, I'm not that old. But anyway, my point is that there's a lot of similarities here between Bitcoin and gold. And as you know, there's a great number of similarities between Bitcoin and gold fundamentally. And we also know that Bitcoin follows gold. And so traditionally, if you didn't know anything about the fundamentals of these two markets, you would say Bitcoin is about to go through a major crash. We're going to see it drop down to our price target, and our price target on this would probably be somewhere around $40,000 to $50,000. That's what you would say if you didn't understand the fundamentals of what's going on in the macroeconomic environment, with the crisis in confidence in currencies, the macroeconomic environment of what's going on at the Federal Reserve with interest rates being cut when really they should be hiked. And the only reason I say they should be hiked is because inflation has not gotten under control. I think they should cut them because I don't think they can get inflation under control. But following their own methodology would say they should hike them. I don't think they should hike them. But anyway, with that, with those cuts that are coming and all the fundamentals there and all the fundamentals that Bitcoin tracks with gold, Bitcoin follows gold, then what you end up seeing happen is Bitcoin is probably about to do the exact same thing that gold did and break the average, which on average, a market that looks like this would crash, is going to break the average and it's going to go into a rally. Well, here's the thing. If it goes into a rally, what kind of rally? Well, it is very interesting that this uptrending level of resistance has been being built for 4 years. As we know from our courses, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, for example, the longer the level of resistance has been in place, the stronger that level of resistance is. This is one of the largest resistance lines that I have ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. However, there is one other one that I want to bring to your attention before we draw all this to a conclusion. If you look at the regular chart, now we're going to have to go on to a really old chart here, but if you look at the regular chart, it is interesting because we did see an uptrend formed between the last two bull market highs. You saw it right here. This was a bull market, 3 and 4 bull markets ago. In 2012, 2013, we set $1,200 as an all-time high. Then we also set right here $20,000 as an all-time high. You extrapolated that price target, and what ended up happening is by the time that we broke through that uptrending level of resistance, Bitcoin broke through it parabolic, and we doubled above that uptrending level of resistance. All right, well, now this gets much more interesting because if we look at the same chart we were just looking at and we say, okay, so the last bull market high and this bull market high are taking place, what does that mean? That means that we're probably going to end up doubling from where we are after we break out of here. And in my opinion, that would push Bitcoin up towards $200,000 to $250,000 a coin. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to break bearish here. I think we might have some short-term bearishness because, as I mentioned, we do have this short-term, very staunch bearish RSI divergence here that we need to pay attention to. But I don't think that you're going to have this apocalyptic bear market starting right now. I think that you've still got a parabolic run of at least $50,000 to $100,000 to come. And so that is something that we need to understand when we start looking at this shorter term time frame and we start saying, oh, look at this, Bitcoin's is starting to kind of put in around a top. Yesterday on stream, we were sitting right here, right up here, let's see, we were on stream at 11. Yeah, right there. We were right there. And I started telling you guys, take your profits. Take your profits. I started smacking people around saying, come on now, take your profits. And people didn't want to do it. I wish they had of. Because there is a scenario where Bitcoin's RSI is too overextended and it needs to have a correction. We've got bearish RSI divergences on the 4-hour chart. We've also got them, it's a little bit more ugly, but they are there on the 6-hourly chart. On the 8-hourly chart, We're very overextended. And as you stretch out to the daily chart, once again, you've got the bearish RSI divergences showing up there. And so I am quite confident at this point that you're going to need to have some kind of corrective movement. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish candlesticks, then a red one, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish candlesticks. Of the last 12 candlesticks, 11 of them have been bullish. Bitcoin is in need of a correction. And then after that correction, we will have an absolutely meteoric rally. This is the exact prediction that we made last week when Bitcoin broke above 118. I said before Monday, you're going to have to have a correction of $2,000 to $5,000. We did see that. We saw a correction of $3,400 before Monday. Now I am saying that you're going to need to see a correction of between $5,000 and $6,000. So we'll just go ahead and write that. Correction of between $5,000 to $6,000 off of ATH back to 120K, for example, before you're able to break up to 130. This is something that is most likely going to happen this week. If you are in a long trade, I implore you, remember that taking profits is the whole point. There are a great number of you guys right now that are up 50%, 100%, 200%, 300%. Some of you guys are up 500%. There's one guy over in our trading group in the first cohort who's trading a little altcoin. He's up 9,000%. Close the trade. Take your profits. At least take something, right? If you are massively up on a trade, take some profits. Even if it's only 30%, even if it's only 50%, wait for a correction and re-enter. I don't like to do that in the long term. I hold my Bitcoin till 2040 and I don't touch it. But when you're talking about trading, that is exactly what you have to do. You have to make sure that you take your profits because we are most likely going to see a small correction before a massive breakout, which will send us up to $130,000 to $140,000. And when that happens, that long-term uptrending level of resistance will break, which will help Bitcoin to go into the exact same kind of parabolic bull market that gold is in right now. Bitcoin is tracking with gold. It's just about 2 years behind, and you are going to see a massive and violent repricing of Bitcoin that will bring it even closer to parity with gold's market capitalization than we've ever seen before. And don't forget, gold itself is going parabolic right now. So the price targets on Bitcoin just keep going up and up and up and up faster than we can possibly keep up with them. Right now, I would put the fair market value of Bitcoin well over $1 million. So this is an excellent opportunity to be building an investment portfolio in Bitcoin if you're going to hold it for at minimum 3 to 4 years, because we might see a 40 to 50% bear market next year. That very well could happen. And I implore you to hold through that because it will not be the end of Bitcoin, as many people will say that it is. That's what they always do. However, it will present itself as an incredible buying opportunity. But I'm going to be honest, there's a very real possibility that you don't even see these levels in the bear market again. Or if you do, you only see them for a month or two, and that's not a lot of a time window. You don't know what's going to be going on in your life at that time. You don't know if you're going to have the cash at that time that you do now. Maybe you spent it between then and now. So don't be overly concerned about like, oh, I just need to buy the bottom of the bear market. Be opportunistic. If you've got a price that you like for your long-term term position, then take it. And if you're a trader right now and you're massively up, I implore you to take your profits and move some of your Bitcoin profits into cold storage. By the way, if you guys have not already, sign up for Stampseed because they're going to help you with your cold storage. I showed you on stream yesterday me actually stamping a letter into this. I stamped a J. So on stream today, maybe we'll put the E on there maybe we'll stamp Jeb on there, right? I'm not going to actually put seed phrases on these. These are just for kind of display purposes. But look, they even put my logo on one of them. This is a solid sheet of titanium, and you are going to be able to get it for 15% off by using coupon code JEB15 with the link in the description box down below. Now, the last thing I want to mention is what our strategy is from here. There's going to be a massive breakout. However, the fact that Bitcoin has not seen just a God candle up to 130 tells me that the bulls are tired. It tells me that they are really tired and they need to take a break. And it tells me that over the course of this week, there's a very real possibility that you're going to start to see a corrective movement. And at the end of that corrective movement, you're going to see a major rally. So continue to build a position, continue to look for dips, continue to have confidence in Q4 because the golden bull market, the Bitcoin bull market, if you will, how about that, is on its way. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure to check out iTrust Capital. If you guys have not already, I highly encourage you to check out iTrust Capital. And the reason that you should is because you get to mix the best investment accounts with the best crypto assets. The best investment accounts in the world are IRAs and 401ks. The reason is that you pay less taxes. I don't know about you, but I don't like giving money to Uncle Sam because Uncle Sam sucks at budgeting. So anytime that I can avoid paying taxes, I do, which is why on the very first day of the year, every single year, we max out my wife's Roth IRA and my Roth IRA. This coming year, we are going to be putting a significant amount of our money into our iTrust Capital Roth IRA. And so I'm very excited to share with you that they are now a sponsor of the channel, and you can buy and sell crypto and even gold and silver if you want to in your IRA. You can transfer your existing IRA or you can start a new one. But the point is that you have access to tax-advantaged retirement accounts where you can buy, sell, and by the way, even trade cryptocurrency and have all kinds of tax advantages. Because there's not just the tax advantage of, not paying taxes on the front end or on the back end, which is what you can do with IRAs. You also have a lot of other things that you can do, such as trading in there, and it makes the taxes significantly easier. So you can actually do your trading inside of your Roth IRA, grow your Roth IRA account, and then you reap all kinds of tax rewards from doing that. So a lot of benefits that come when you sign up for an IRA, a Roth IRA, or a 401k and invest in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets. You can do all of that with iTrust Capital. I highly encourage you, if you have not already, consider signing up for iTrust, especially as we move into the new year. January is coming. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of capital and you're going to want to max out your IRAs. I encourage you to do it in Bitcoin, in iTrust Capital, with the link in the description box down below. Very excited to be building some of our crypto portfolio inside of those tax advantage retirement accounts like our Roth IRAs. And I encourage you to do the exact same thing, because why would you give money to Uncle Sam by just buying on spot when you could first fill out your IRAs and then buy on spot after you've already maxed them out? If you enjoyed today's video, well, I mean, you're buying on spot in the IRA, but buying self anyway, you understand the point. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's see if we can't hit 250,000 subscribers before the end of the month. We're at 246. If you are new here, we've been doing this for over 8 years, and we're going to keep doing it for as long as I have breath in my lungs. And if you want to be a part of that journey, help us get to 250,000 subscribers. We hit 100,000 subscribers years ago. Time to get to 250. Really appreciate you guys for being here. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.